Here in Excel spreadsheet we have data on dependent variable CSAT and independent variable percent and expense. The data ranges from row number 2 up to row number 52, so it means total 51 data points on each of 3 variables. And our objective is to estimate this multiple linear regression model where CSAT is dependent variable and percent and expense are 2 independent variables. This can be done using data analysis tool pack. Go to data tab and here on the top right corner click on this data analysis button or tab. Here in the data analysis dialog box choose regression. So select this regression, click on OK. And now in this regression dialog box in input Y range select this CSAT variable including this column heading. So A1 up to A52. And then in the input X range select both variables percent and expense. So click on this arrow. And now select these two variables B1 to C52. Since we have also selected the column headings or column names, so check this box labels. Now in the output range provide any blank cell. E7. And finally check this box of residuals as well. Click on OK button. Here is the output. R square is 78%. All variables are significant at 5% significance level. We are interested in this residuals output. So please note that here are the residuals. Now our objective is to test these residuals for normality. That is whether they are normally distributed or not. First method that I am going to do is to construct the histogram of these residuals, and then I will try to match it with the bell-shaped normal curve with the same mean and same standard deviation as that of residuals. In order to construct histogram, I am going to calculate the minimum value of residuals and maximum value of residuals first. So min command is used to calculate the minimum value. So minimum is minus 62.9. Calculate the max value. So max of residuals 75.62. Calculate the range, which is the difference between max and min. So max minus min. Next, how many bins for the histogram are required? So number of bins, suppose 10, and class interval. This is range divided by number of bins. Now construct bins starting at minimum value and going up to maximum value. So bins, put an equal sign and get the minimum value pasted here, and then put an equal sign this minimum plus this class interval. Use dollar signs to fix it. Select it and copy this command downward. And here this last one is the max value. In the next column I am going to calculate the frequency. Select this whole column, put an equal sign and type frequency. Then first argument is data array. Data array are the residuals. Use dollar signs to fix it. Press Fn key from your keyboard and keep pressing it down and then press F4. This is the shortcut to use dollar signs. Comma, then the bins array. For bins select this range. Close the parenthesis and now press Ctrl Shift Enter simultaneously. So here we have obtained the frequencies corresponding to each bin. Select both columns, go to Insert tab, choose this Scatter and choose this Connected. And now click on this graph, right click, change series chart type, and here select columns. Click on OK. This is the histogram of these residuals. If you want to reduce the gap between the bars, right click on the bar, choose Format Data Series, and here gap width, it is currently 150%. Reduce it to 0%. And now in the color option, in the border, select solid line and change its color to white and increase its width to 2 points. And here is our histogram. Move this chart to a new sheet. Right click, select Move Chart, New Sheet and Chart 3. OK. Now our objective is to draw a bell-shaped curve on this histogram. Again move to sheet 5, our working sheet. For this we need to calculate mean and standard deviation of these residuals. Type here mean and then the standard deviation. So mean is the average By the way, by construction the mean should be 0 because sum of residuals is 0. So mean is 0, e minus 14, it means 0.0013 times 0 and then 445, which is approximately 0. And then standard deviation STDEV dot P for population. Select this and press enter. So we have calculated the mean and standard deviation. Since normal distribution has 99.7% of the probability that lies in the interval mean minus 3 standard deviation and mean plus 3 standard deviation. So first I am going to calculate these two limits. So here mean minus 3 times standard deviation and then mean plus 3 times standard deviation. So put an equal sign. Mean is this value minus 3 steric for multiplication and then standard deviation and then mean again plus 3 times standard deviation. So now I am going to construct a variable x ranging between this mean minus 3 times standard deviation and mean plus 3 times standard deviation, that is from minus 92 to plus 92. So here in this cell I am going to construct a number of bins. So number of bins 100, you can even choose 200 or 400 or even 1000. The larger the number of bins, the more smooth will be the normal density curve. And here I am going to add a step size. Step size can be calculated by taking the difference of mean minus 3 standard deviation and mean plus 3 standard deviation and dividing this difference by number of bins. So equal sign, mean plus 3 standard deviation minus mean minus 3 standard deviation slash number of bins 100. Press enter. So 1.84. Smaller the step size, the smoother will be the normal density curve. So here if you select 200, so we get 0.92, which is smaller than the previous step size of 1.84. So the smaller the step size, the smoother will be the curve. I am keeping the number of bins to 100. In this cell construct the variable x containing values between mean minus 3 standard deviation and mean plus 3 standard deviation with the step size of 1.84. The first value is this mean minus 3 standard deviation. In the next cell put an equal sign, choose this previous value plus this step size and use $sign to fix this step size. Copy this command downward till we reach at this value mean plus 3 times standard deviation, which is plus 92.03. So in our case it occurs at row number 131, so 92.03. So now we have generated the x values. In next column calculate the probability density function of normal distribution with mean 0 and variance equal to the square of this standard deviation 30.678. Type here f of x and use norm.dist command. First argument is x, which is located here, and then comma mean, which is 0, and then comma standard deviation, which is located here in this cell. Use $sign to fix it, and then cumulative false. So this gives the probability density function of a random variable x which follows normal distribution with mean 0 and standard deviation this 30.678 for this first value of x minus 92.03. Please note that the value of probability density function is unscaled, so we need to adjust its scale. This can be done by multiplying this value of probability density function with total number of sample points, which are 51 in our case. So multiply this with 51. Put a steric sign at the end and then type 51, and then you need to multiply it further with this class interval, which was the class interval of this residuals histogram. So use this cell address as well, J35. So we actually multiplied this probability density function with total sample points 51 times the bin width of this histogram. Press enter. This is the value of probability density function after adjustment of scale. Click on this cell to copy this command downward. In order to obtain the bell-shaped curve, select both columns. Go to the Insert tab. In the Scatter option, choose this smooth line. So this is the normal density curve. Now let's construct the histogram using the information in these two columns on this chart. This way we will get a histogram and the bell-shaped curve on the same graph, and then we will be able to compare the histogram with the bell-shaped curve, and we will see whether the residuals histogram matches with the bell-shaped normal density curve or not. In order to do this, right click on this chart choose select data, click on this add button. In series name select this frequency. Series X values select the bin range starting from row number 1, not the column names. Series Y values select the frequency value. Once you are done with it, click on OK button. Click on OK. So now on this graph we see the residuals density as well. The next task is to change the shape of this residuals density to a histogram. Please note that there is no direct way of converting this residuals density to a histogram in Excel. So I am going to use one simple trick here. Click on this residuals density, click on this chart design, and now add chart elements. Go to error bars, click on more error bars option, change the direction to minus, and style select no cap. In the percentage, change this 5 to 100%. Press enter. Now here is the graph. Next task is to increase the width of these error bars so that they look like bars of a histogram. Select the bars by clicking on them. You can see that the bars have been selected. Click on this fill and line. Now increase this width from 0.75 to suppose 13. Now you can see that the width of the bars got increased. The final point is to get rid of this brown curve. Click on it and select no line. So this has been removed. So here is the graph. We have the residuals histogram and we have the bell-shaped curve over it. We can see that the peak of the residual histogram is lying above the normal density curve, and also the right tail probability of histogram is somewhat higher than the right tail probability of normal density curve. Roughly we see a good match between the two, but we need to confirm it using some proper statistical tests. This completes our first task, comparing residuals histogram with normal density curve with same mean and same standard deviation as that of residuals. Let's move this chart to a new sheet. Right click, select move chart, new sheet, click on OK.